Indonesian search teams have located the flight recorder of a passenger plane that crashed into the Java Sea on Saturday. 62 people were on board the Boeing 737-500 aircraft. Authorities now hope the black box data will clarify why the plane came down only minutes after taking off from Jakarta.
Looking for clues to make sense of tragedy. Indonesian search and rescue teams sought through debris found by divers in the Java Sea. Body parts and children's clothes were among the first items retrieved from the water. Divers also located the plane's black box recorder, confirming the debris is from the missing Boeing 737-500. The Sriwijaya air flight left Jakarta Airport on Saturday, bound for a 90-minute journey to Pontianak. But it lost contact only minutes after takeoff. Data from online service Flight Radar 24 shows the plane suddenly losing altitude and speed. Boats will continue to search the ocean as authorities try to piece together what happened to Flight SJ182.
President Trump's power and time in office both diminished. But House Democrats are emboldened, prepared to impeach him a second time, a first in U.S. history.
This is not an ordinary circumstance. This is an extraordinary circumstance. Insurrection, sedition, an attempted coup d'etat on the United States Capitol is extraordinary, and so it requires extraordinary measures.
Officials say at least 180 members of Congress signed on to this article of impeachment that accuses President Trump of incitement of insurrection, claiming that he willfully made statements that encouraged and foreseeably resulted in imminent lawless action at the Capitol.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Deranged, unhinged, dangerous President of the United States.
"42 nations have started vaccinating their citizens against COVID-19, many with the Pfizer-BioNTech, Moderna or AstraZeneca vaccines. But one nation that will not be joining those ranks is Iran, after the country's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei bans the import of American and British vaccines. On Twitter, he suggested that it wasn't unlikely that the US and UK would want to contaminate other nations. That message was taken down by Twitter for violating its terms. Iran has vowed it will get its jabs from other reliable sources, and the country is also working on its own vaccine, which entered human trials late last month. With nearly 1.3 million infections and over 50,000 deaths, the country is the worst afflicted in the Middle East.
Three people have been killed in an avalanche at a ski resort in the Russian Arctic. It swept through the Mount Otdelnaya ski complex near the city of Norilsk just after midnight on Saturday. So far, rescuers have recovered the bodies of a woman, her 18-month-old child and her husband. A 14-year-old boy was also found alive and taken to hospital with serious injuries. The Siberian Times reported that the four were the ski lift's director Vlad Popov, his wife and their two children. Up to 6 more people are missing and are believed to be buried in deep snow in temperatures of -25 degrees. At least 200 rescuers, including volunteers, are at the site and are trying to get to the buried houses. Krasnoyarsk Region's Investigations Committee has now opened a criminal case suspecting negligence as a result of safety violations.
This is no winter wonderland. Heavy snowfall across much of Spain caused havoc on roads and stranded hundreds of vehicles. Help didn't come on time for everyone. 2 people drowned in their car in a flooded river near Malaga, and a person froze to death in Calatayud. Authorities say the extreme weather brought by Storm Filomena was unprecedented. Madrid saw its heaviest snowfall in 50 years. Airline passengers were forced to spend the night in Madrid after snow closed its airport. Authorities in Madrid have cancelled school until Wednesday, and the mayor implored people to stay indoors as more extreme weather was forecast over the weekend.
Meanwhile, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has asked the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to expedite a shipment of the AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine. The Bolsonaro's appeal has come amidst delays and also growing pressure to speed up Brazil's vaccine rollout. His message to Narendra Modi has come as the federally funded Fiocruz Biomedical Center in Brazil has said that the active ingredients that are needed to finish millions of doses of the coronavirus vaccine in Brazil may not arrive until the end of the month. The ingredients were previously slated to arrive in the country on Saturday from China. The Fiocruz said that it was in talks to import more finished doses of the vaccine, most likely from India.
Bearing scars of unspeakable violence is Goniwar Maxim and his family. They fled the Central African Republic to Cameroon after armed groups took over control of their town. Buar, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is now in the control of the Anti-Balaka, a Christian militia group, carrying out what Maxim describes as a reign of terror. Amid a presidential election, a coalition of armed groups that fought each other in 2013 have joined forces, capturing almost two-thirds of a nation the size of France. They are threatening to march onto the capital Bangui, accusing President Touadéra, who has won a second mandate, of failing to implement a peace agreement. As a result, hundreds of thousands of people are on the move, fleeing to neighboring countries, including Cameroon, where they are sheltering in makeshift camps.
In Pakistan plunged into darkness on Saturday following a huge blackout due to a fault in the power distribution system in the region. According to the country's power minister Omar Ayub Khan, the breakdown was caused after the frequency in the national power distribution system suddenly fell from 50 to 0. The power outage was reported shortly before midnight, almost simultaneously in cities like Karachi, Rawalpindi, Lahore, Islamabad, and Multan. Initial reports also suggest that there was a fault in a power plant in Sindh province at around 11:40 p.m. This was local time, and the fault tripped the high transmission lines, and this resulted in system to drop from 50 to 0 in less than a second, causing power plants to shut down.
Tech giants Apple and Amazon over the weekend suspended Parler from their services. That's over claims that the social networking site had not taken enough measures to prevent the spread of posts inciting violence. The move follows a similar blow to the app by Google on Friday. Parler has become popular among supporters of U.S. President Donald Trump and is seen as a haven for people who have been expelled from Twitter. Trump was banned from Twitter permanently on Friday after inciting Wednesday's violent clashes on Capitol Hill, which left at least 5 people dead. Apple says those clashes were coordinated on Parler's site and in a statement on Saturday announced the app's suspension from its store until raised issues are resolved.
The Amathole District municipality in the Eastern Cape is in big trouble after announcing it can't afford to pay salaries. This is reported to be for more than 1,600 employees, including councillors and traditional leaders. The municipality says this will be the last month until June that workers will receive salaries.
I can also confirm that the executive mayor, Councillor Maneli, has written to the office of the MEC for COGTA in the Eastern Cape and copied that letter to the MEC for Treasury to inform and request a financial support for Amathole District Municipality in this matter.